Imagine for a second that the clock on your wall, the rhythm of your heartbeat, and the concept of before and after are nothing more than a local hallucination. It is a convenient fiction crafted by the specific physics of our tiny bubble of existence. We spend our entire lives racing against time, terrified of its passage, obsessing over the seconds slipping through our fingers like stardust. But what if time is not a fundamental pillar of reality at all? What if, the moment you step outside the boundaries of our universe, beyond the final edge of spacetime itself, there is no ticking, no entropy, no later? Welcome back to Cosmic Horizon Hub, where today we are dismantling the most sacred architecture of our perception. We are going to explore a mind-bending possibility. What if time does not exist outside the universe? To understand this, we have to stop thinking of time as a river flowing from the past into the future and start seeing it as a property. Think of it as a localized feature, like the air inside a pressurized cabin. If you are on an airplane, the cabin pressure feels like the universal standard, but step out into the vacuum of space, and that pressure vanishes. Time is our craft. We are currently drifting through the cosmos in a vessel built of cause and effect. Consider the block universe theory, suggesting the past, present, and future exist simultaneously in a static, four-dimensional block. If that is true, our perception of time is merely a spotlight moving across a landscape that is already fully formed. Now push that logic further. If our universe is a singular event, a four-dimensional bubble floating in a higher dimensional space, what happens to the spotlight when it leaves the bubble? If time is defined by matter and energy, then outside that system, where there is nothing, there is no arrangement to track, there is no change. And without change, the word time loses every ounce of its meaning. Imagine a library with infinite books written in a language that never changes. You could stand in the center of a majestic, eternal library. But if there is no reader, no flipping of pages, and no light, does the concept of duration exist? It becomes a silent, frozen monument. This is the paradox of the outside. We often visualize the beginning of the universe as a big bang that started the clock. But if the universe emerged from a quantum foam, that transition itself might not have been a process that occurred in time. It might have been the condition that created time before that moment. Before is a meaningless term. Asking what happened before time began is like asking what is north of the North Pole. It is a question that collapses under its own weight because it assumes a coordinate that doesn't exist in that geometry. Think of it as a movie film. If you look at the film strip, you see all the frames at once. The character in the movie experiences time, but the film strip itself does not experience time. It simply is. We are the characters, while the projector of existence holds the entire story in its light simultaneously. Now shift your focus to the cosmic scale. Our universe is expanding. Dark energy is pushing galaxies apart, stretching the fabric of space. But if we could observe the universe from the perspective of an entity existing in the bulk or the multidimensional expanse outside our own, would our expansion look like a process? Or would it look like a static, frozen shape, like a sculpture of a tree that never grows but exists in its entirety from root to leaf? The sheer weight of this thought is enough to make the stars feel a little colder, isn't it? It strips away our importance. But it also grants us a strange kind of immortality. If you exist within this block universe, you are etched into the fabric of reality forever. Your laughter, your sorrows, the moment you sat down to watch this video. It is all preserved in the eternal, unchanging geometry of the cosmos. The now is just where you are looking, but the then never truly disappears. The fear of death, the anxiety about the future. These are anxieties of the inside. They are the problems of a traveler who thinks the destination is a place yet to be reached rather than a place already waiting to be discovered. If time does not exist outside, then the universe is not a process. It is a masterpiece. It is a work of art. This changes how we interact with the cosmos. We search for the origins of the universe, trying to map them on a timeline. But what if we are mapping a landscape with a ruler that only measures depth? We are trying to measure eternity with a stopwatch. Look at the black holes scattered across our galaxy. At the event horizon, time dilation becomes so extreme that objects appear to freeze. Gravity, the curvature of space, literally warps the flow of time. If gravity can stop time, what happens when you reach the absolute limit of space? You reach a state of timelessness. You reach a state of pure crystalline existence where the concept of seconds is irrelevant. We are explorers, and our journey is to understand the boundaries of our cage. But every cage has a door. The math of general relativity and quantum mechanics hint at a reality that is far deeper and far more still than our senses perceive. We are living in a ripple, a tiny, vibrating tremor in a vast, silent ocean of nothingness. We are the universe's way of reflecting on its own timelessness. We are the clock that has learned to doubt its own ticking. As you look up at the night sky, do not just see the past. Do not just see the distance. Try to see the structure. See the tapestry. Every star, every nebula is part of an eternal, unmoving architecture. We are part of something that does not need to rush. The next time you feel like you're running out of time, remember this. The universe isn't going anywhere. It is already here. It is complete. The cosmos is not a ticking bomb. It is a canvas, and you are part of the paint. Let's dive deeper into the abyss of this concept. If time is indeed a local phenomenon, a byproduct of entropy, then what becomes of the concept of causality? In our daily lives, we are governed by the law that an effect must follow a cause. I drop a glass. It shatters. The drop happens, then the shatter happens. But if the entire universe is a single frozen block of four-dimensional space-time, then the cause and the effect are just two coordinates in a static coordinate system. They are neighbors on a map. They don't happen in sequence. They just exist. Imagine standing on a mountain looking down at a winding road. You see the start of the road, the curves in the middle, and the end of the road all at once. To someone driving on that road, they experience each turn one by one. They think they are moving toward the end. But from your perspective, the whole journey is present. The driver is not creating the road. They are merely discovering it, segment by segment. This is the profound implication of a timeless reality. Our free will might be the experience of moving through the map, but the map itself is already drawn. Does that scare you? It shouldn't. It means that the universe is not a chaotic, unpredictable mess hurtling toward oblivion. It is an ordered, logical, and eternal structure. It means that somewhere in the vastness of the block, there is a version of you who is always happy. A version of you who is always at peace. And a version of you who is always exploring. They don't happen after you. They just are. Think about the quantum realm for a moment. Particles act in ways that defy our linear intuition. They exist in multiple states at once until they are observed. They can be entangled across vast distances, communicating their states instantaneously. Could entanglement be the key to understanding the timeless nature of the universe? If the universe is deeply interconnected at a quantum level, perhaps space and time are just emergent properties that arise. When we zoom out to a macroscopic level, like how a single pixel has no image, but a million pixels together form a picture. Maybe individual quantum events have no time, but when they aggregate, they create the illusion of flow. This leads us to the concept of the eternal now. Many philosophers and mystics have spoken about this for centuries. But physics is now beginning to approach it from a mathematical angle. If we could strip away our sensory bias, would we perceive the universe not as a series of events, but as a single vibratory frequency? A cosmic symphony where every note is played simultaneously, creating a harmony that is constant and unchanging? The sheer audacity of this idea is what drives us to explore. We are not just biological machines. We are conscious lenses through which the universe experiences its own eternal nature. We are the eyes of the cosmos looking back at itself, trying to understand why it feels like it is moving when it might actually be perfectly still. Consider the entropy argument again. We measure time by the increase of disorder. A cold cup of coffee left on the counter eventually reaches room temperature. A sandcastle eventually crumbles. These processes define the arrow of time. But what if the entropy of the universe is not increasing because time is passing, but because the universe is interacting with its own boundary? If the universe is leaking information into a higher dimensional space, or if it is part of a larger, colder, and more orderly system, then our arrow of time is just a localized current in a much larger, stationary ocean. We are looking for the source of the river, while the river is actually just a meltwater stream flowing off a massive frozen glacier of reality. The glacier doesn't melt, it just is. And here is where it gets truly wild. What if we are wrong about the universe having an edge at all? What if the universe is infinite? In an infinite universe, every possibility must eventually occur. Every version of you, every variation of history, every possible state of matter must exist somewhere. In such a reality, time would not be a progression. It would be a coordinate in an infinite space. You could travel through time just as you travel through space, moving to different coordinates in the infinite block. The idea of now becomes as meaningless as the idea of here. If you are everywhere, there is no here. If everything is happening, there is no now. We cling to our linear time because it gives us a sense of identity. I am me because I was that child yesterday and I will be that adult tomorrow. But if that child and that adult are equally real and equally present in the grand block of the universe, who are you really? You are the entirety of the timeline. You are the whole trajectory. You are a vast four-dimensional entity that extends from your birth to your death, and perhaps beyond. You are a long, thin, beautiful ribbon of existence woven into the tapestry of space-time, and that ribbon is, and always will be, a part of the cosmos. This perspective doesn't diminish you, it elevates you. It places you firmly in the architecture of the infinite. It makes you a permanent, unerasable feature of reality. So, when we talk about the end of the universe, the heat death, the cold, the dark, we are talking about the end of change. We are talking about the moment the tapestry is finished and the artist puts down the brush. But the painting remains. The painting is perfect. The painting is eternal. This brings us back to the fundamental question: why do we care? Why does the human mind struggle so desperately to understand its place in time? Perhaps because we are the only creatures on this planet that have become aware of our own impermanence. We look at the stars and feel the weight of the billions of years that came before us, and the billions that will follow. We are the only ones who mourn the passing of a day, because we know that it can never be lived again. But if the day never truly passes, if it is preserved forever in the geometry of the universe, then we have nothing to mourn. Every moment is a treasure chest that is locked and stored in the vaults of eternity. You can't open it again, but it hasn't been lost. It is there, tucked away in the bedrock of reality. This is the comfort of the timeless universe. It is the realization that nothing is ever truly gone. The light of a star that died a billion years ago is still traveling, still hitting your eyes, still influencing gravity. The energy is never lost, it just changes form. And if time is just a form, then it too is a part of that conservation. It is a part of the fundamental equation that balances the scales of existence. The more we learn about the universe, the more we realize that our common sense is a poor guide to the truth. Our senses evolved to help us survive on a savanna, not to navigate the intricacies of higher dimensional physics. We were built to track a predator, not to map the block universe. We were built to find food, not to understand eternity. But we have outgrown our evolution. We have reached out, grabbed the telescope, and peered into the beautiful void. What we have found is not a simple ticking clock, but a complex, breathing, eternal system of which we are an integral part. We are the ones who can look into the abyss and not just see emptiness, but see the foundation of all that is. We are the cosmic architects, building our understanding of the universe one theory at a time, one observation at a time. And as we refine our models, we are getting closer to the final revelation. We are getting closer to the moment when we will look at the universe and finally see it for what it truly is, a timeless masterpiece. The journey is not over. In fact, it has only just begun. There are more questions than answers, and that is exactly how it should be. The mystery is the fuel that powers our curiosity. The unknown is the territory we are destined to explore. So, keep asking, keep doubting, keep looking at the clock and wondering if it is telling you the truth, or if it is just a suggestion. Stay a useful shortcut for a world that is so much deeper than it seems. The universe is a vast, quiet, and beautiful place, and you are right at the center of it, not in time, but in the heart of the eternal. We have only scratched the surface of what it means to exist in a reality where time might be a local illusion. There are layers of physics, hidden dimensions of string theory, and the haunting beauty of the holographic principle. all suggesting that our three-dimensional, time-bound experience is a projection of something far more elegant, far more still. We are just beginning to wake up from the dream of linearity. The cosmos is not a ticking bomb, it is a canvas, and you are part of the paint. If you found yourself caught in the gravity of this thought, if you felt that strange, cold shiver of realization, that perhaps you are not just a creature of time, but a piece of an eternal structure, then you are a true citizen of the cosmic horizon. We explore these boundaries because, in the end, understanding the cosmos is the only way to understand ourselves. If you enjoyed this journey into the profound mysteries of existence, and if you want to keep pushing the boundaries of your own understanding, join our community. Hit the like button to help other seekers find this video in the vast, noisy space of the internet. Subscribe to Cosmic Horizon Hub and turn on those notifications, because we have only just begun to peel back the layers of the veil. Leave a comment below. Does the idea of a timeless universe give you peace, or does it make you feel more lost? I read every single one of your thoughts, and I want to know how this shifts your perspective. Thank you for being a part of this mission. Keep looking up, keep questioning the clock, and I will see you in the next dimension of discovery.